What's up, guys? It's Trent McGowan here from Under the Willow Tree. We have another episode today. We're going to be talking about guilty pleasure movies. Dylan, tell them what this is about.
Okay, so a guilty pleasure film is essentially a film that's either so bad that it's good or something that someone hate watches. So it could be something you indulge in sometimes in spite of it lacking anything that's good, basically.
Alright, so we've each made choices of our own guilty pleasure movies. And I'm going to start off with this, and it is Batman vs Superman. Now, obviously, I do know there's a lot of faults in the film. Let's talk about the CGI. But one of the reasons, I personally love it, it's like that first outing of having Batman and Superman on the same screen. Regardless of how confusing the storyline is, purely because that's the studio's fault. That is the studio's fault.
No, it is 100%.
You know, I think if they didn't interfere as much, it would have turned out a lot better than what it did.
But whose movie do you think it is?
I don't know. I honestly personally think it's more of a Superman film because you got Superman's villains in it. You know, you got Lex Luthor and you got Doomsday, which are more tilted towards Superman.
Yeah.
Obviously, Batman has had run-ins with them in the comics, but on a film perspective, it's more of a Superman thing because, you know, technically it's a sequel to Man of Steel.
It's meant to be. That's why I don't think it's actually a Superman movie. There's never been... his character arc is exactly the same at that point from Man of Steel to there.
And Batman hasn't had his own solo film yet, or Ben Affleck's one, but it's still not a origin film for that.
Okay. So what did you enjoy about this? What makes it a guilty pleasure for you?
Well, everyone hates it, firstly. That's what. But I dig it. Based on that fact, like I said, you got Batman and Superman on the same screen, which doesn't, we've never had that apart from animated movies. It's the first AAA outing they have been on. Obviously they threw in a little Wonder Woman in there, and you got to see glimpses of Flash and Aquaman.
Yeah.
You started to see Justice League building up. You started to actually start seeing those characters come to life.
Yeah.
We've never had a live action Wonder Woman.
We don't. It was a good introduction. People remember that movie for Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot is amazing as Wonder Woman.
She is, yeah.
And, obviously we've got Aquaman coming out, or has come out, depending on when this podcast goes out.
Yeah.
And seeing Jason Momoa in this rendition of Aquaman as well, he looks absolutely fantastic.
He did, yeah.
Even in the trailer they show a hint to the original Aquaman costume.
Yeah.
They show where it came from. But now, I'm going to give it to Jamie because she really dislikes Batman vs Superman.
I really don't enjoy it.
And I'm going to defend our point. So why don't you like it?
Okay, well, I went to the movies with one of my friends to watch it, and he basically had to drag me there because I don't really know much about superhero movies.
Yes, we know this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys know this. But the movie, in my opinion, it was just way too long. Obviously, I would have understood it more if I was more indulged in the superhero universe, but I'm not. But I was so confused. I basically fell asleep during the movie.
Oof.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy it.
So you're pretty much saying it was too long for your attention span.
Basically, yeah.
You can't really just hate a movie based on the length of it.
It's not just the length of it, it's also the storyline. I just didn't really...
Well,
it's just something that I didn't enjoy personally, that I was just
Well, like you said, you probably would have enjoyed it more if you knew what was, more about superheroes.
I do watch superhero movies, and like Wonder Woman, I really loved that, and Venom, movies like that, but I don't know, when it comes to Batman and Superman, I'm kind of just about it. I don't know why.
My biggest problem with the movie was that, it's called Batman v Superman and there's a 9-minute fight. I understand that they're fighting each other throughout and it's a mental game, but the actual the physical fight between the two of them is only 9 minutes.
Yeah, the physical confrontation.
Yeah.
And how they end that confrontation.
Yeah, I know, the Martha. yeah, I understand what they were going for, but
my mother's name is Martha too.
Oh
my god, did we just become best friends?
Yeah, it didn't work.
That was one, that's what I can agree on. Like I said, the reason I enjoyed it as a comic book fan of Superman and Batman, to see both of them on the same screen and interacting with each other, because Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck are perfect in those.
They did a great job with
yeah.
Batman. Batman is particularly his fighting style was very similar to the Arkham games.
Yeah,
that whole factory break-in where he saves Martha was very much like the Arkham games.
Yeah, they had a darker rendition of Batman.
Yeah, which is
You know,
what we needed. Well, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like,
Aside
okay,
from-
obviously Christian Bale's is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
He is the peak of what we've seen as Batman on film. You know, Ben Affleck just brought something unique and something different to the character. Like, people were talking about him using guns and actually killing people. Those are the people that don't read comics.
Yeah.
Because he does. There is, especially, it's the Red Sun Batman.
Yeah.
Is it the Red Sun one where he's his father?
No,
No, Flashpoint, yeah. He kills a lot.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't care. So I think they kind of just put the two characters together, those two renditions, into Ben Affleck's version of. Especially, he's more of that The Dark Knight Returns
Yes.
Batman.
More
You
grizzled.
know, yeah, he doesn't really give a shit anymore.
Yeah, he's faced all of it.
Yeah,
He's
it's-
gone through.
Especially in like the
Saving people,
animated
losing
version
people.
of it, or you know, he just comes back and he's like, you know what, you're dying now.
I know another thing people didn't like about the movie was Lex Luthor. So how do you feel about Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman?
Honestly, I did dig like that version, but that's not Lex Luthor.
He felt like the Riddler to me.
Yeah. You know, when it came to the end there with like the shaved head, he looks like Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He looks the part.
And he acts a bit more
Yeah.
Lex Luthor-y and
Yeah, at the end there, but that's why people were like, I don't like it. He's got hair, and it's like,
yeah.
well, he had hair at a point, even in the Smallville ones. In the Smallville
Yeah.
series, there was a point where Lex Luthor did have hair.
No, I mean the hair thing is
Yeah, the hair's not
bullshit.
the problem.
Yeah.
It's more like he kind of came off as a child, I guess.
He did, yeah.
Very childish, very immature, but that's kind
It
of
is a version of Lex Luthor. It's
yeah.
definitely different, give it that, but it's not menacing enough to be the
No.
guy.
But the thing is, we've only seen him once.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know what's coming. I think they're trying to develop the character by showing him as like naive little like
Yeah.
playboy billionaire
Too
guy.
many toys, yeah.
Yeah, and then you know he's gotten thrown in prison now, and you
Yeah,
know
I
it's
mean-
kind of that character development where he's going to come out and be the Lex Luthor we know him
yeah.
as.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously that
Mastermind.
plan to do that, but whether we're going to see that now, since Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore, and Ben Affleck is still kind of,
It's
we
not
don't know what's happening.
It's not looking like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, apparently that solo film is still going ahead
Yeah.
with
Who
what is
knows
Matt
if it's
Reeves.
gonna be him, yeah.
Matt
Who
Reeves
knows?
is the director of
He wants to
Planet
cast
of the Apes.
Batman as a younger. role.
Yeah, which is not good for Ben Affleck.
No, it's not.
But like this whole DC universe has just gone.
They're all
really
guilty
bad.
pleasure films
Yeah,
for someone,
they
I'm
pretty
sure.
much are, yeah. You know, obviously we still got Aquaman and the next Wonder Woman and Shazam coming out.
Those are actually, well, Wonder Woman is universally praised. It's
Yeah.
one of the DC movies that actually people like.
It's
everywhere.
really good.
That one the studio didn't interfere with.
Yeah, that was, yeah. they
You
had
know,
all
and that's
creative
what I think
control.
that Warner Brothers and DC themselves have realized that you know the directors are doing their job by
just
directing.
messing with their vision
Yeah.
a bit too much.
You know, you got obviously like Aquaman looks amazing
It does.
from the comics, and you know some of the reviews have come out have said that it's a really good film.
Mm.
So hopefully this is the step in
This
the right
is the
direction.
turning point. Yeah. They can nail a few good ones.
And especially Shazam looks really, really good as
Yeah.
well. So, you know, if those two films do super well,
Yeah, they're back on track. But,
yeah. but then they just
Back
need
where it
another
should be.
Batman and a new Superman.
Yeah.
Which I think, you know, you've already got a Superman and Batman in that specific DC universe. It's going to be hard to...
Recast.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to take it a step forward. Unless they're planning to do something with the Flash movie.
Yeah. who
And
knows?
just do what Marvel
Who knows?
does. You know, screw with the timeline.
Yeah.
But, you know...
It's very convenient.
Yeah, you know, they've got the character to their disposal.
Yeah.
But yes, Dylan, what is your first guilty pleasure?
Well, I have many, but the first one I wanted to speak about was Snakes on a Plane. So it's quite a, well, at the time it was a very popular film. So firstly, it's a guilty pleasure for me because it's, the title's true to the name. There's literally snakes on the plane.
Yeah.
Also has Samuel L. Jackson just going full mofo.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall,
snakes
like-
on a motherfucking plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where he flings around a snake and he bangs it against lockers, and you'd swear like the snake told him that he's not having enough fun with it or something. Or that like it insulted his mother. It's just batshit crazy, and I love it. And there's also a song in that movie by Cobra Starship. It's called "Bring It," and this song was like designed actually around the movie. And I like that. I miss when music used to be specifically made for a film, and this is definitely one of my favorites. So definitely check that song out. Yeah, Snakes on a Plane is a good movie.
Yeah,
Fight it to death.
I don't really remember much of Snakes on a Plane. You know, I remember snakes on chicks' nipples.
Yeah, it's,
You know, it is kind of, it's got that slapstick humor to it as well.
no, it does. I mean, it's from 2006.
Yeah,
so-
I don't think it's intentional though.
yeah.
I think it just comes across like that because you know it's not a triple A movie.
No, definitely
You
not.
know, it's B-rated,
Yeah,
but it's one of those good B-rated movies.
it is. It's
Even
very
though a lot of
rewatchable.
people hate it.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I don't remember a lot of it, but there are a few like memorable scenes that kind of stick with
Out,
you.
yeah.
You know, especially Samuel L. Jackson. He's pretty
Yeah,
much
his
the best
performance-
part of the movie.
His performance in that is...
He's great.
Mm.
He's so good. But then again, when is Samuel L. Jackson not great in a role?
Mm.
There's not many bad performances.
Yeah, he
by
always
him.
gives it everything.
Yeah, especially when he's allowed to swear.
Yeah.
Even though he does pretty well as Nick Fury when he's not allowed to swear.
Yeah, surprising.
You know, he does it really well. But Jamie, you got a guilty pleasure. What is it?
The Wrong Turn movies.
Sure, all of them.
All of
Just
them.
all of them. Straight
Just
up,
all
all
of
of them.
All of
Okay.
them.
Actually, I don't know those movies.
Okay, how about the third one? Because the third one was like trash, but it was like good trash.
The third one was...
I think the third one was when they went on, when it was the army guy, or he wasn't like actually part of the army, and they went on like this big reality TV
That's
show
number 2.
thing. That
That's
one.
number 2, yeah.
The
I like
second
number
one
2.
then. I like the second one.
Yeah, when they were reality show and they streamed it worldwide
Yeah,
for
yeah,
people
yeah.
to watch.
This is the first time I don't have an opinion on a movie.
Have you not
Really?
seen this one?
I don't know. I've seen the first one. I don't
Okay.
even remember the first one.
I think the first one is when that chick got split in half. No, that was also the second one.
I'm thinking of Hillbillies, but that's Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't like those movies.
I like the remake.
I don't like those movies.
There's a for those that have played like Red Dead Redemption 2, the new one. There's a little Easter egg towards the Hills Have Eyes.
Ah, okay, what is
Yeah.
it?
So you pretty much go shoot up a cave, and there's a bunch of deformed hillbillies.
Oh, Lord.
That is so cool.
And then you
That's
find
beautiful.
a chick in a cage tied up.
Oh, okay.
Jeez,
Yeah.
okay.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to
Yeah.
like add that in before.
They don't know where it's in the game, so it will surprise them. when it
Yeah,
happens.
exactly.
Fair.
There are a lot of
Exactly.
caves in Red Dead.
Good point.
It could be any cave.
So what did you like about Wrong Turn?
Well, my favorite ones were definitely the last two. I think it was 4 and 5 because those ones were actually like the special effects actually were pretty good. And
Were
it was
they?
like,
I don't know.
in my opinion, it was pretty good.
Four,
It was,
four
it
was
was
the one.
uncut ones.
Okay, wait. 4 is the one when they in the Arctic. They get trapped in that. I think it's a hospital or an asylum,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
They get trapped in a
Okay,
hospital.
4 had good effects, but 5 was awful. 5 was when they were in that hotel, and this guy goes to claim his estate or whatever, and there's a whole incest plot going on. It's disgusting. It's one of the worst. That is not a guilty
Okay,
pleasure
then I
movie.
can't remember. I
Sorry.
can't remember the fifth one.
That is hate.
If
then
you're
I
into
don't-
incest,
wait, then I don't
if you're into
think-
incest, it's a guilty
Then
pleasure.
it's a guilty pleasure.
Not really a guilty
no,
pleasure, then.
no, it's not. It shouldn't be.
It's just it's a really
it
bad
just,
made
It's just
movie.
a no.
No.
Okay, then I haven't watched the fifth one because I don't remember that happening.
I can't
at all.
remember what number 3 was about actually.
I only watched the
I don't
first
know.
one. So.
Okay, then I've only watched 4 of them. I haven't watched all 5 of them. So I really like the 4th one where they're in the hospital.
Yeah, by the time you watch the fifth one, the sixth one's going to be out.
No, they've stopped with them. The last one was a straight to DVD. It didn't even get a
Oh.
bit
Really?
bad. Yeah.
Okay,
Bit bad.
that makes sense.
If yeah, don't fact check me on that, but yeah.
I really like the 4th one because it's so creepy. In my
Yeah.
opinion, it's very creepy. So yeah, because all the other ones were like kind of like good trash.
Mm.
Basically, that's like the best way I can explain it. It was good trash.
They always have like an uplifting ending where you think the one character's gonna get away, and then
yeah.
boop.
And then they just kill them all.
I
They
think
just
in the
kill
4th
them
one
all.
they were on the one person left was on a jet ski and they were driving off.
Yeah.
And like I think there was a police car in the distance or something like that, and it was just trying to stop the person, and then they just obviously missed.
The timeline just confused me a bit because it feels like it's like from like the beginning one is the end movie and the end one is like the first one, but I'm not sure.
No, there's no
The timeline
continuity
just
there.
confused
That's-
me.
There's no universe. It's just
The
it's
timeline
random.
confused me, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
actually,
like
I really
American
like
Horror
those
Story, pretty
movies.
much. None of them tie into
Because
each
they're
other.
super gory and like really cheesy movies as well. They're like so expected.
They are, yeah.
Like the endings are so expected, and what happens in the movie is like really,
But there is
stereotypical.
craft in some of them.
Yeah.
There's definitely, some
So
integrity
that's
in
my
the
guilty
filmmaking.
pleasure.
It was, so you have to take pride in what you make.
Some people do.
Some, yeah. But we won't get into that.
Do you have another one you want to mention?
Yeah, well, mine is George of the Jungle, Brendan Fraser.
Okay, no,
Love
that was
that
actually
first
really
one.
good though.
Love
You know,
that movie.
a lot of
Nah.
people don't like it.
I
I'll
like
tell you
it.
now, the ratings are really
But I
bad
love
on that
Brendan
movie.
Fraser, so
Yeah, well, that's old school Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, it's when he
Yeah.
was popular.
Yeah.
Everyone loved him.
back then, like he's got a comeback starting in what's the
There was 2. I only remember one.
Yeah, the second one was a direct-to-DVD.
Okay.
It had that guy that acted as Jake in 2.5 Men as his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there was a kangaroo for some reason.
So this first one, this first one got shat on. It was
Yeah.
57%. I mean, not shat on, but
Yeah, it's not
it's not
critically
good.
acclaimed.
Yeah, it's not.
That's pretty much what we're talking about. It's
But
not
there are
critical
reviews. Yeah,
success.
it's funny. It's silly family movie,
Yeah,
hilarious.
but
funny
that's the thing.
characters.
That was the time. That was the type of
Yeah,
humor that was popular. It is slapstick.
Yeah.
It's stupid shit that makes you laugh. That's like the movie that I would get home from school at my grand's house and she would have it on tape, and I would sit there watching that on repeat. Like it's kind of like a stupid version of Tarzan,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
but I think it's better
it's
than
watered,
Tarzan.
it's watered
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Actually, there's never been a good Tarzan movie in my
The
opinion.
animated one was.
Okay, aside from that,
You're talking about live action.
live action, it's
Yeah,
never
no.
worked.
Well, there was the latest one that was live action was pretty good.
I keep
It wasn't as
honestly-
bad as that guy that was from Twilight.
No, I'm
that
not.
did that Tarzan
Like I
version.
like the actor. I just every time I get to 45 minutes and 23 seconds, I think it's at that point, I fall asleep. I've tried to watch it 3 times. I always fall asleep the same
And yeah,
point.
Samuel L. Jackson's in that one as well.
He is, yes, and
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz. They're both villains, I think. I'm not
Yeah, they
mistaken.
are. Yeah, I don't know. Just some people have mentioned it too. They're also like,
Yeah,
really, George is a
stick their
jungle.
nose up at you.
Yeah, really. It's like what? At the time, it was like the peak.
I think it's a cute movie.
Was at a peak of comedy. It was something that not many people was doing.
Yeah.
Some guy in the jungle, abandoned.
Yeah, and
raised by
also the
gorillas.
animals were really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had what's his face.
Mentoring him.
He's in Spud, the old guy.
Oh, John Cleese.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was the gorilla that could talk.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was him, and he added that little bit of extra humor. Even though a lot of the jokes you probably didn't understand as a kid, and now you
Yeah.
you rewatch it
Yeah.
and it's like they said that. I get it now.
It's very
But yeah, it's like then the sequel Brendan Fraser didn't even sign on to,
yeah. So
and that just not many people even know there was a sequel.
we know
I
that
didn't actually know there was a sequel.
history shows us that doesn't work when you've got the star doesn't sign on.
Yeah, well, that one
Happened.
went straight to DVD. There was no cinematic release
Yeah,
at all.
it's happened with Ace Ventura as well. 1,
Yeah.
2, Jim Carrey. 3 was straight to DVD with the kid, I think, or was it a cinematic release?
Wasn't there
I don't
3,
know.
and then there was the 4th one where it was
I know they
Ace
did.
Ventura Jr. where
Yeah,
it was his
that's-
son. That one was
I
so
know.
bad.
Yeah, that was.
And now they're planning on rebooting it also without Jim Carrey, and
That's a bad idea.
yeah, no, it's gonna go nowhere.
Nah, guys, we need to stop with the reboots. Seriously, there's very few that are actually working.
Yeah, like the Planet of the Apes reboots are.
Yeah, okay,
Amazing.
those are
Those are-
phenomenal. Anything
those
that
are
actually
great.
you can do better with CGI and
Yeah.
story-wise works today, but
Yeah.
when you're trying
anything
to,
at the time, like movies at the time, like back 80s and 90s, where CGI and motion capture and all that, special effects in
Yeah.
general back then didn't work. Those would work now as a reboot.
like they've tried
They
with
could use
Nightmare
their
on Elm
full
Street.
potential. Yeah, well, Nightmare on Elm Street is
Ah,
it's another story. Like the original ones were good.
yeah, and
And
this
then
one, the new one that came out, like it had the cast, it had everything. There's just the story wasn't there. It didn't work. The effects were good, but it wasn't.
Because there was that one with the guy from Watchmen.
Yeah,
That was straight to DVD.
Jackie
one.
Early Haley or
Yeah, that was straight to DVD.
No, that one got a release.
Did it?
Yeah,
There was one.
there
that was
is one
straight
that
to
came out
DVD.
after.
There was one that was
Don't know.
straight to
Don't know
DVD.
if it's him.
I don't know which one it was. But like, there's
It's
the
another
new
one,
one
yeah.
that's coming out that looks promising.
Looks okay. Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it looks promising, but I don't think they've shown what Freddy looks like yet.
Yeah, and that's.
And that could be bad.
And I don't know who is portraying Freddy in that one.
Mm.
I know there was talks about a reboot of it again with the original Freddy actor.
Yeah, Robert Englund. Yeah.
Yeah, there was talks about it. I don't know if it is this
He said he will never come back to the role, but he was recently on, I think, what's that show called? The Goldbergs. What's that show you guys watch, man? Eh? Yeah, The Goldbergs. He's in some Halloween special. He did a little segment where he replayed the role for that show.
one. Yeah, that's a very iconic role. Though.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard
That's-
for
it's
someone
tied
to
to
fill
him.
those boots.
It's
Yeah.
tied to him, yeah.
It's like kind of like Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. Whoever in the future has to portray Iron Man,
Yeah,
they're
it's
gonna
not
have to live up to that standard.
Yeah.
And especially like now, I think his time is coming to an end as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll have to see what the next Avengers movie has in store.
Yeah.
And to see who they're going to replace him with. Obviously, we've seen Gwyneth Paltrow now in that suit of armor for her
yeah.
character. Can't remember the name.
Yeah.
But if that's what they're planning on going ahead with, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah,
For the things she does, and she's not that great of an actress in my personal opinion.
Oh.
You know, obviously it depends on the role, but
Yeah. Not in those movies.
I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a Gwyneth Paltrow movie.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal taste.
Okay.
So what's your next one?
My next one is The Room. I'm sure a lot of people know this movie.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, that one. This movie, oddly enough, like it inspires me as an upcoming filmmaker because it's written, directed, and produced by the one and only Tommy Wiseau. Like some people consider it to be the worst ever movie, but for me, it's a beautifully bad made film. And if you look into the history, there's many interesting tales behind it. None that I'll really get into now because it's fascinating and there's so much about it. I just recommend that you watch the movie called The Disaster Artist. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Yeah, that's with James Franco. I haven't watched it, but I know of it.
And Tommy Wiseau himself has said it's a pretty accurate depiction of what's happened in the behind the scenes of the movie leading up to that, his whole relationship with his friends. And the reason why I love this movie can be sort of pinned down to the characters and the subplots that just make no sense. Have you guys seen The Room?
I have, but like I said, I don't remember much of these like older movies.
Okay. I know my brother and I, this is not good, but I watched it with my brother and it's not a kid-friendly movie.
No, it's not.
It's borderline, yeah, it's disgusting. It's basically like an adaptation of one of those cheesy romance books you buy in bulk at CNA. And it plays out like a glorious soap opera in a way, because there's sex scenes in it where you can see it's literally like belly bumping, and it's obviously accompanied by this really cheesy R&B music. And there's dubbing in it that's just, it's bad, eh, Matthew?
Yeah.
It's laughable, especially when he goes to get the flowers. And then, also he like somehow manages to offend chickens in this movie.
Offend chickens?
Offend chickens, you know, the animal, a chicken.
Yeah.
Like, just the sound that he makes, like, because he gestures like, you know, when you call someone a chicken.
Yeah.
He's like, cheep, cheep, cheep. That's not what a chicken does. Like,
No.
and I'm not an expert on chickens, but chickens definitely don't sound like that.
I don't think so.
Nah.
I think maybe a little chick does.
But also this movie is very quotable. I mean,
Yeah.
you remember that line.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Then there's, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa," and all that
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
The thing that makes it funny is, he's a very bad actor.
He is, but
He gives it his all, though.
he does, and
goes
that
hard.
is admirable. The guy does not give two shits what
Yeah.
anybody thinks, and he'll just go and make whatever he makes, and people love him for that.
You know, like that movie is so bad that it's bad, but it's good at the same time.
It's turned him into a millionaire.
Yeah.
He funded the movie himself. Yeah, just...
Yeah, that movie also didn't go through like production hall at a point.
Well, yeah, he had to rehire
Yeah.
a crew. Because, yeah, people just did not want to work with him.
Yeah, I know, apparently he is very hard to work with.
There is a movie coming up with him now. I think actually it's a 2-volume movie. He's bringing back volume movies. And it's getting good reviews. It's called Good Friends. So check out the trailer for that, maybe.
I've actually never heard of that.
It actually looks like a good movie. And his acting has improved.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, with all that money, he can afford an acting coach now.
He can.
Maybe he is an acting
Also,
coach.
he's like advocating to become all these roles now. He at a point he was like, yeah, I can be the next Joker. I could be the next Batman. The guy he really believes in himself.
I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe the Joker. He possibly.
He's a really
We'll
weird looking guy.
We'll wait and see when these volume movies drop and see if he can be the Joker.
Well,
Because we've got Joaquin Phoenix coming out as the Joker, which is shaping up very nicely.
it is.
From
I'm
what I've
very
seen, the
excited
set
for that
photos
movie.
and that stuff. It'll be very interesting to see what he does with the role.
Yeah.
But my other guilty pleasure movie, or movies, the series of movies, is The Purge.
Okay.
Because those movies like hit a peak and then they drop.
Yeah.
You know, and like the latest one is pretty good compared to the others. Especially the first one is pretty good.
I love the first one.
But it's between the first one and the last one that's currently out when it just...
They've shifted tones completely. So the first one was a horror movie, and now
Yeah.
they've pretty much gone straight to action.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like action/thriller. I
Yeah,
guess.
now definitely.
Yeah.
The first one was
The
they were
first
going
one was
for
like horror.
Yeah.
They were going for that, and then it kind of got into that corny like action.
It did, yeah.
That stupid,
works.
like that line between action and horror
It works.
is what they were at, and like the newer one, like I said, is action thriller, and it's based on the first Purge, the newest one.
Yeah, it's a prequel to the other one.
It's a prequel to all of them.
When they did tests on Staten
Yeah.
Island, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
when
not too sure.
I think that's how the Purge started.
Yeah.
They set it there.
So yeah, like I know a lot of people like the first one,
Yeah.
but then there's the other ones that just kind of dip, and I think it's a good representation just because like your first movie does well, not necessarily the next ones are gonna do.
Yeah, the concept really clicked with people, I think, and now it's actually scaring people.
Yeah, because it's something super realistic.
It
can
is.
happen. It's not like
Yeah.
other horror movies that are just like, no, that can't happen.
Some immortal killer.
Yeah, these guys, it's just like
This
it
is
could be your
people
next door
turning.
neighbor. Yeah,
This is people
Yeah.
turning against each other.
yeah, it could be like your best friend.
Population control. You don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it could easily
Literally,
happen.
the first one, it was their families in the
Yeah.
neighborhood turning against each other, and they were all best friends, but they were like,
Yeah.
no hard feelings, but
It's
we have
like-
12 hours to kill, and we're killing you.
Yeah, so this is like your pent up rage against someone. He ate your apple like 10
Exactly.
years ago. Well, you're dying because you ate my apple. There's people just holding grudges are able to, get it out.
Yeah, it's giving someone a death note.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
Death Note. That's
That
that's
is a,
another movie.
yeah,
Like-
that could be. I mean, that's come out when did it come out? Last year, the new Death Note movie. Have you seen it?
The one on
That
Netflix.
has been
Yeah, that
I've seen
wasn't that the year before?
in 2017.
Yeah, so it was next year. That's like a perfect example of Americanizing a movie.
Yeah.
It could have worked if they changed the main character's name, and they didn't try and depict him as the one in the anime and the manga.
Yeah, they tried
Yeah.
to make him too similar to that character
Yeah.
when he was not at all.
That's the thing is, it's like how I look at it is just Americanizing the movie. It's not whitewashing, in my personal opinion. They're putting their take on the role, like in the movie in general. They're putting their take on it, and they're putting in who they envision as that character.
Yeah.
But then again, there's so many talented Asian American actors and actresses
is.
out there that they could have used.
Especially emerging now.
Yeah. With Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, that cast from that
especially-
movie,
yeah.
they're all getting major jobs now,
Yeah,
and they deserve it.
They're showing that we're not just another statistic.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope Netflix style they're adapting so many like anime to live action now. They're doing a live action of Cowboy Bebop now.
They are, yeah.
So there's so many talented actors and actresses out there that they can use, and hopefully they do it.
Yeah.
You can still Americanize it, but put the right people in the role.
Don't do it for the sake of
Yeah.
doing it. Do it to serve the story.
Personally, that Death Note movie was pretty good. The movie itself.
I dug it if it was not called Death Note.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, you could have just kept in the Death Note universe then, I suppose. And just
You
given
could
it a
have. You
different
could
name.
have.
That's what I'm saying. With the lead actor, don't keep the name from the guy in the manga.
Yeah. Also,
You know-
they really botched Al.
Yeah, to keep
As being
keep them as change the characters. If you're gonna Americanize and make it an American character.
Yeah.
Call him Jake or some shit like that. The most American name.
And then yeah.
Do it like that. Don't take something that works and fuck it up.
Take that and hint at the original character
Yeah.
in the movie, and then the next time we see him, because they are making a sequel to this movie,
Yeah.
and who knows if we're going to be stuck with the same people.
I don't know, but they're good actors. but
They
it
are
was
good
just-
actors. Unfortunately, I think they were just stuck with a shitty script,
Yeah,
because I like everyone that was in that cast. Willem Dafoe was
yeah.
perfectly cast as Ryuk.
Yeah,
He's
he
not.
was. See, in that way, even though he's a white actor, he's just providing a voice.
Yeah, but his voice just...
Yeah, he's scary.
Yeah, oh, that guy.
Just in general, he's scary.
Yeah.
And especially his rendition of Green Goblin, dude. He's
So
he's pretty
memorable.
creepy.
He is.
Those Spider-Man movies are guilty pleasures nowadays because they don't hold up to what they used to be.
Yeah, in all honesty, they don't. Except for Spider-Man 2, which I will fight to the death.
Spider-Man 2 is a Dr. Octopus.
Correct.
Yes, that was a good movie.
Yes.
The first one was Green Goblin with Willem Dafoe, which was also really
Very
good.
campy.
Yeah.
Very campy.
But I think that kind of
It did work.
the character
for its time.
development in those movies are
Yes.
amazing. I don't care what anyone says. Tobey Maguire will always be Spider-Man to me.
Aw.
I don't like Tom Holland. Tom Holland can go fly a kite.
I like him.
Yeah, of course you like him. You're a
Course I
teenage girl.
I'm giving
Fair
him
enough.
a chance. He needs more movies.
No, he can pull off Spider-Man.
He's a
But
good
the fact
actor.
of the matter, like, I grew up with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
I have that
I
whole,
always see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
I have that whole thing with Toby as well. I still think he's the best Peter Parker we'll probably ever have.
No, he's a good Peter Parker, but like, I think
you,
Andrew
Spider-Man.
I think Andrew Garfield did a better portrayal of Spider-Man.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But like, it's like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker.
Andrew
that was
Garfield was just too cool to be
Yeah,
Peter Parker.
He wasn't a nerd.
Yeah.
He wasn't
skateboarding
yeah,
around.
Like, he was like this little punk that was smart.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, the thing is also what I dug with
Hipster Peter.
Tobey Maguire ones is, you know, they were corny as well.
They were.
And at that time, that was what movies were going for. But, you know, like I said, the character development is amazing for him, especially with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
You know, how it builds up into the third movie. Where the third movie a lot of people don't like, but...
She was a
I
terrible
dug it.
character, though. She
Yeah, no.
she did not treat him well.
No.
Like, he gave everything to her, and she just had every opportunity. Even when he made up to her, she just...
Yeah, but I think there's a rendition in the comic books I feel like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, you know, yeah, she was a bitch.
I didn't like her.
But like I said, like, I'll talk, like, Spider-Man 3. A lot of people did not like,
Venom.
but yeah, that was the worst part of the movie. But like,
Topher Grace
the
Venom.
story, what they were going for was, the story was pretty good, what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But how it was initiated?
Too many villains.
No, way too many villains. What,
start
there was
out
what?
there.
Sandman,
Sandman, you had...
Hobgoblin,
Yeah.
Venom. And I'm pretty sure there were
One-
more.
Yeah.
There were more. I'm almost 100% sure.
It
There
felt
was-
like more.
I'm pretty sure there was more than 3.
I don't know.
Maybe there wasn't.
Maybe there wasn't, but it just, they didn't do
Yeah,
any
there
of
was-
them justice. Sandman was a beautiful film. I
Yeah,
liked
he was
Sandman.
amazing.
His arc.
Especially if you haven't seen it, he has a spoiler. Especially how they pretty much kill him off.
Yeah, it was...
You know, it was
Oh,
emotional.
his
Even though
story.
he's a bad guy, you know,
You
felt
could
for him
understand. You
dying,
could
yeah.
understand what he was...
They made him
going for.
human.
They did.
He wasn't just like this bad guy. you
Also,
know.
his transition into Sandman is one of the nicest like
Yeah.
CGI moments you'll ever see in anything.
Well, it's for the time. No, it doesn't.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but like it doesn't hold up to current CGI.
True, but
But
2007.
Yeah. But also like the choice of Topher Grace as Venom.
and Sam Raimi did not want to include Venom, so that's more studio tampering there.
Yeah, if this is very slim, but if Marvel Studios or DC is listening to this, let them make their own fucking movies. Okay, they are directors.
And
It's what they
writers
do.
and everyone.
It's
just
their
let them
job.
do
You're
it.
hiring them for that. But then again, the chances of them hearing this podcast are pretty
Very
slim.
minimal,
Slim to none.
yeah.
But still, maybe one day they'll hear this and maybe they'll listen.
Maybe people will talk shit about us and then they'll know.
I don't know. I think they listen. They just don't take criticism well.
Yeah, no, they don't. Especially DC.
Yeah.
DC
we know
are
that.
the biggest babies.
We know that.
Yeah.
They just throw everything at the
Marvel listened to the fans, especially with Thor.
Yes, they did.
Especially the second one was, I think it was too dark for what a Thor movie is. And then when Ragnarok came out, they made
Yeah.
up for what they did.
Ragnarok was a beautiful movie.
You know, they kind of, like goes there, the character development of Thor himself. You know, from this very arrogant guy in the first one to being this very dark, confused person in the second, and then just being
conflicted.
yeah, this like, and then the third one just being this regular superhero that's just you know,
Badass. He was
yeah,
badass.
being a badass. You know, it came full circle, especially jumping into Avengers: Infinity War,
Yeah.
where you know he became like Thor.
Yeah, he really stole the show in that.
Yeah, that was more of a Thor movie. That was Thor: Infinity War, in my opinion. You know, he did well. Like, Winter Soldier. How much was he in that movie, Infinity War?
Who?
Winter Soldier, Sebastian.
Stan.
Yes, he wasn't really in there. He was in the film, but you know, you had such a big cast of actors. But then you just
No, there was a lot going on in that movie.
yeah. But the thing is, like,
But
the
they
thing is,
didn't.
like,
He was still a central point in that because they
Yeah.
obviously linked it to Civil War.
Exactly.
With him killing.
so you would think, you know,
Spoiler.
it is coming off of Civil War that they would focus on Captain America and Winter Soldier a little bit more than what they did.
Yeah.
Where they mainly targeted Thor.
Yeah.
You know, obviously most of the big five of those movies.
I think they
Iron
just
Man.
see Thor as being more appealing now as a character because people are resonating more with him now.
Yeah, like I don't see Chris Hemsworth stepping down from Thor
Anytime
anytime soon.
No.
I think he's going to keep going until he pretty much just gets told to leave.
He's an old man till he's in Odin's position.
Yeah, until he takes that, like the King of Asgard storyline, where he becomes the King of Asgard. Old Man Thor. That's pretty much what it is called. But yeah, like, there's also been some very bad Marvel movies.
Yeah.
They weren't always the juggernauts they are now. Especially talking about juggernauts. The XMen movies.
Oh, Lord.
Which
one do you like that's controversial?
Which one do I like?
Don't say Apocalypse, because
Apocalypse was bad.
it was atrocious.
That movie was so bad.
We sat in an empty cinema watching that. On opening weekend, guys.
Yeah,
Opening weekend.
There was 2 of us in the cinema on opening night.
Wow.
There was no one there. Still walking out of the cinema, there's no one in.
Like the mall was just dead. Like
there was nothing. It was just like, okay, well, this is fitting.
It was a sign.
Yeah. But one thing I did dig about Apocalypse was the practical effects.
Yeah.
I think, studios need to stop relying on special effects and go more to the practical side. Like, let's talk about Infinity War. Just imagine if Thanos was practical effects. It could really go bad or it could be really great.
Yeah.
But then, with a character like that, CGI is kind of...
It works for him.
necessary.
It works for him.
Just imagine Hulk, bringing the original Hulk actor and throwing him in as the Hulk now.
Yeah.
He's still got the size, he's still big and buff.
Yeah.
But X-Men, my favorite X-Men. It's Days of Future Past with Quicksilver.
Yeah, for that scene alone.
Yeah.
Also, his scene in Apocalypse was amazing.
Yes, he stole the show.
That's one redeeming point in that movie.
He's amazing.
And the young cast was also with what they had, they were good.
Yeah, they
fingers crossed. Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix. I
don't know how I feel about Dark Phoenix,
especially with Disney acquiring Fox. It's meant to be a trilogy, but we could just get this one and then it's rebooted again.
It's done. Yeah, we're not going to see them again.
Yeah, but obviously it is promising now that Kevin Feige has taken over.
Yeah.
So if this one does do reasonably well, we will get the next 2, but it'll be overseen by Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Which is very promising.
But another one that hasn't been, for me, as revered as it should be is First Class. Do you remember?
Yes.
There's a lot
kind of the origin
like
story
that.
to them.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like that movie.
I really dug that. It kind of filled in that gap.
It did.
Because at the time, I wasn't the first X-Men movies, I wasn't that much into comic books.
Yeah.
You've seen Professor Xavier and that's how did he actually get in that wheelchair? And especially for people that don't read comic books but follow the movies, that kind of filled in that gap.
Yeah, no, Matthew Vaughn's First Class was...
Yeah, First Class was great. It kind of filled in, a lot of loopholes, I guess, to put it that way. And it kind of built up the characters to what we know.
Yeah, it established the new timeline, which we know they fucked up.
Again, as always.
Because Fox.
Yeah, it's Fox.
It's Fox.
But also, especially with the young Professor Xavier, James
McAvoy.
That guy.
Yeah.
And, Patrick Stewart, they both Professor Xavier. It, like I said, it built up the character.
Definitely.
Seeing him younger and then seeing Patrick Stewart, it worked. Especially Michael Fassbender as the young Magneto.
Yes.
It worked.
Yeah, their dynamic was also...
Yeah, their
relationship.
There was a lot of love and pride put into them taking on those roles. The one that I hated was Young Storm. I did not like her.
Okay, yeah, she was in... wasn't she?
Apocalypse.
Yeah, she's in Apocalypse, not...
Yeah, she didn't get... honestly, she didn't get much screen time. She didn't speak much, but I just don't like that rendition of Storm.
Yeah, you can't see how that woman then becomes Halle Berry.
Yeah, firstly,
if you want to go for...
Firstly, they don't really have the same skin color.
Well, okay, well...
They're bringing it on to those type of aesthetics, still, Halle Berry wasn't that old as Storm.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were old.
And they're not going to de-age them.
And when you got the younger people, they don't look alike, but you can just blame that on age.
Yeah.
Halle Berry was still pretty young at the time of Storm, and bringing in another young actress where their ages probably weren't that different at the time. It's kind of hard to do.
I don't know how old she was.
I don't know, the original X-Men movies, I don't know how old she was then. Because she's kind of fizzled out as Storm.
Yeah, no, they don't really use
because she also in Days of Future Past, she didn't have a big role in that.
She was literally just
she was in a scene or two.
No, she was in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, she helped
she was in there
keep
for
them
a
alive.
scene. Yeah, that was about it. You know, she's kind of died out as Storm. But I never actually saw her as Storm.
Yeah.
You know, she was just there.
But there's hope for Storm being in Marvel's universe.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously because now Disney owns those films, so technically Marvel owns them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those X-Men movies, they don't age well. But still, the best thing to come from there is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah.
Especially Logan's amazing.
It is.
And just that whole like relationship with Ryan Reynolds, just trying to get him to come back for one more movie. To be honest, I think if he keeps pushing, he'll come back just dressed up for like one scene and that'll be it.
Wow.
Like in the background. Or something like that. You know, I think like Hugh Jackman will do it. You know, for the fans,
in that universe
reason.
for sure. I don't see him playing a new.
Well, he did say he would come back as Wolverine if Marvel had the rights, and Marvel does have the rights now. So Hugh Jackman has to do it now. I don't think he will, to be honest. He's been in that role for what, like 15 years?
Nah, he's been doing it since 2000, I think, or 99.
So yeah, almost 20 years then.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Being Wolverine, that's a long time to play a character. And I think, he's been in a role longer than most superhero actors.
Yeah, he's been going a long time.
You know, like Batman constantly gets recast, Superman constantly gets recast. You know,
SpiderMan.
He's just there. I am Wolverine. And he wasn't originally meant to be Wolverine, which is the crazy thing about it.
Scott.
Yeah. You know, that guy couldn't make it to filming, so like...
Yeah, he chose Mission Impossible 2 over X-Men.
Mission Impossible 2 isn't even that memorable.
It isn't.
Like, what happens?
It was just a bad decision. It was a really bad decision.
But then again, you can't really picture anybody else as
No, you can't anymore. I can't even see that guy before. I can't see him being.
You know, it's like...
If it ever did.
I don't even think he would have done it justice, to be honest. You know, Hugh Jackman had that role and was kind of like...
There are people that don't like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine because of his size. I know there's
he is a lot
He's bigger, he's taller. Because Wolverine's like 4'5".
Yeah, he's small.
He's my height.
Yeah, he's like, you know, but that's why like Hugh Jackman said he wants to see Tom Hardy in the role.
Yeah.
But obviously Tom Hardy is not Venom. But then again, Josh Brolin is 3 different superheroes.
Yeah, like it's not
characters.
It's not out.
What is he? He's Cable, he's Thanos, and he's
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex, yes. Yeah. So he's been 3 different roles. So even Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Chris Evans was Human Torch, Captain America, and he was in that other comic book movie. I can't remember what it was called, but he was in it. But yeah, let's get off Marvel. What's your next one?
My next one, okay, back to horrors. Did we even touch on horrors? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so this one is a slasher horror. Jason X in particular. You know, the immortal boogeyman in space. So
that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is definitely a guilty pleasure for me. So it came out in 2001. It's like a full-on 80s B teenage film, just like down from the cheesy dialogue to the sexual tropes. Jason's obviously as menacing as ever, these trademark over-the-top kills, and ridding the world of these teens. And for me it's really memorable in that sense. Okay, so the film obviously takes place in space, centuries into the future, when Earth is essentially a wasteland, and people are on the spaceship, and it's returning to Camp Crystal Lake. It's like a research facility, and then they discover 2 cryogenically frozen bodies, one of which was a scientist and the other is Jason.
Yo, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, revolutionary stuff.
That's insane. I can't believe they did that.
And then obviously in typical horror fashion, and the characters wander off alone, like
as they do.
You know, as they do. And then there's this onboard generator that supplies him with like superhero armor, and it gives him this like militant looking outfit. He looks bad. He looks terrible. But I love it. It actually worked for me. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very different from the other movies.
Yeah, it's a lot different to the other Jason.
That's why I can appreciate it. It's not your
typical Jason.
No, they did try and do.
Yeah, it's not your typical Friday the 13th.
No.
Yeah, I think you can kind of say it like it's the multiverse. Like, you know, it keeps with the same character, but it's a different rendition of that character.
Yeah.
You know, there's, obviously, like I said, multiverse. You know, like, you can come back to like SpiderMan and all that stuff, like Miles Morales, who's to say that this is actually Jason
Yeah.
per se?
This is 455 years in the future.
Yeah,
Does Jason
and-
still have the same...
Yeah, no, that's not
Well,
Jason.
he obviously has the same mentality because he just wants to
Yeah.
kill. But
Yeah, he obviously does have the same mentality.
he's still batshit
Even in
crazy.
space, bro. In space, you know. But how does he come out of a lake then, bro? There's a loophole right there.
Yeah.
Where does he go when he's finished? You know?
A black
Don't ask
hole.
these questions.
Black
Also,
hole.
another
Yeah.
good thing about the film was, and I'm going to commend it for this, the special effects were not bad. They were decent enough. They're not like Scorpion King levels of bad.
Scorpion King.
Yeah, that is.
That was The Rock. Wasn't that like his debut?
Yeah, that was him breaking out of the WWE mold.
Yeah,
And
that was his acting debut, I think.
I don't know if it was his very first movie, but it was definitely
He's most known one.
most hated for sure.
Most definitely.
People hate that movie.
That movie was
I do as
bad.
well. It's not.
The special effects are so bad.
It's unfinished. You can literally see it rendering out in front of you.
Yeah.
It's that
Wow.
bad.
The spin-offs back in the day didn't work.
Yeah,
Even nowadays, spin-offs don't really work.
they don't.
They're they hit and miss.
Yeah.
You know, don't. Do not start with that meme.
What?
Do not. No, do not. Not now. Not on this podcast. Go away. Take your memes and fly somewhere close to the sun.
Can we jump to the next one before?
Yes, we're gonna start talking about the next one.
Okay.
Well,
so-
I'm gonna my next one. Stop. Would be the Sahara.
Okay.
A lot of people dislike the movie.
I don't know Sahara. I've seen the trailer and it looked. Yeah.
It was one of
It's
those
a movie.
movies. It was one of those movies that were meant to have. It was meant to be a trilogy,
Oh.
and obviously the first one flopped. So
Yeah, not a good
it
start.
didn't do well. But obviously, I was like a little kid when that movie came out,
Mm,
so anything would keep my mind entertained.
works.
That's why I like it. It probably doesn't hold up anymore. Obviously, Sir Matthew McConaughey was in it. You know, all right.
Alright.
I think he was the only good part of that film.
Usually isn't.
I don't really remember what it was. I think it was kind of like an Indiana Jones ripoff, I guess, if I can remember. I think it's also pretty close to the closest thing we can say is an Uncharted movie. To
Yeah.
be honest,
Okay, I can see how that
yeah,
would be.
it could be, in a way, I guess. He's no Nathan Drake, but it's kind of the same premise
Yeah.
behind
It's
it.
in that same vein of
Yeah,
storytelling.
yeah, definitely. I can't actually just imagine Matthew McConaughey as Nathan Drake.
Oh god. I could see him as Sam, the brother.
Yeah, definitely.
He could
actually,
definitely
yeah.
be Sam if anyone's played Uncharted 4. Sam is
Definitely.
Nathan Drake's brother.
There's spoilers, bro.
For you boys.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well. I know the person watching this that has played Uncharted 4 will appreciate that.
Yeah, the little Easter egg. And like Sully, Tom Hanks, definitely.
Yes.
So this is a topic for another podcast.
Conversation.
Yes. Do you have any more guilty pleasures?
I do, yes.
Yes,
And this
and
one
what is
this
this?
one is not a good one. And I know it's an awful movie.
This movie is amazing.
Batman and Robin.
Nipple
So-
armor.
Nipple, yeah. This movie was, first of all, only made to sell toys. And yeah, I still
Yeah.
have some of the toys from that time.
I also had I think I had a Robin.
Mm.
Yeah. You even had nipples then.
Even in the toy. And then, like, you can't forget Mr. Freeze and his puns. His
Nah.
nice to meet you. And
Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's
I loved him.
That was he was kind of like the best part of that movie.
He was thoroughly entertaining. Now.
Yeah, I like he doesn't like.
He knows what movie he's in, and he gives it
He
all.
kind of regrets it now. He said in a couple of interviews.
I think everyone on that movie regrets making it. Even John
Especially-
Schumacher is like,
Especially George Clooney. He said he
every chance he gets, he apologizes.
he does.
Every chance.
Just like the stupid stuff was like the nipples on every piece of armor.
And then there's this back card, the infamous back
Yes,
card
the
that
back
pops
card,
up and
yes.
literally says goth card on it, and it says
Yeah.
valid forever. Like
yeah, I
valid
remember that.
forever. Like
That movie was full of a lot lot of cliches.
it's cringy as hell. It's the
very
epitome of
cringy.
cringe. And I still got the tape. I still got the VHS tape somewhere. Somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know that. I guess that movie kind of grows on you.
But it does. I love it. It's got a very special place in my heart.
It's like it killed what's his face's career, the guy that acts as Robin.
Yeah, Chris O'Donnell hasn't
Yeah.
been the superstar he was when that came out.
That was at his peak, and then he did that movie, and he kind of just
I know he's in like
fizzled
series
out.
now, but
yeah.
it's
And he's still doing better
He's
than
not-
George Clooney.
I don't know about that. George Clooney, yeah.
I haven't seen
is
George
also
Clooney
another-
in something.
Well,
a
acting
long time.
wise, maybe not so
That's what I'm
much.
saying, but he's not really in the game anymore. He's in the Nespresso adverts.
Oh yeah, and running his
Yeah.
vodka, tequila,
Yeah.
whatever the hell that shit is.
Obviously, he's probably doing well on that front, but he's
I don't know.
also he's
What
not the
was the last thing he
superstar as he
did
used to
again?
be. He was in Caesar. Was it Caesar?
Hail Caesar. I like that movie.
Hail Sylvia. There we go.
Hell
Yeah, he
Caesar.
was in that. That's with us with Channing Tatum.
Mm,
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
that could be a guilty pleasure for someone.
Mm.
I
So
like it.
is it bad?
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay. Yeah, but like George Clooney, he was at a peak at a point.
Yeah.
Now he's the Nespresso man. And I think it's also part of it is to do with Batman and Robin.
That movie, yeah, I think that movie just hurt a lot of people.
That, but not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, hey.
He wasn't hurt from it. Uma
Yeah.
Thurman, after that, she had Kill Bill. And
Yeah,
she was good as Poison
she
Ivy.
kind of had a revival after that.
Yeah.
She shot up again.
Mm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was just like, I'm gonna go make another Terminator.
There are things in that movie that they did well. Like there's this
Yeah.
bike race scene. It kind of looks like a real life level of Mario Kart, but it's amazing. Like it's an interesting.
I think that movie is more of bringing the comic book to life to what it would actually.
It is.
look
They
like.
wanted to change from the serious Batmans
Yeah,
before.
it looked
And-
like a comic book would in real life.
This is why Michael Keaton had no intention
Yeah.
of coming back.
I think if
No
they
intention.
do
He saw the
like
script and he just bolted.
I think if they do a Batman Beyond,
Oh,
they
that
need
needs to
Michael
happen.
Keaton.
That needs to happen.
I don't know who would actually play the younger version.
Oh, you could get. Oh, there's lots of people.
For Batman Beyond. Who
Terry
would you
McGinnis,
top?
Dylan O'Brien, Taron Egerton. You could get so many people.
Okay, yeah. I suppose.
So,
Thinking about it now. My next guilty pleasure, though, I do have another one,
oh yes.
is John Carter of Mars.
Oh, I love that movie.
That movie was so good, but Disney, the infamous Disney, did not market the movie as well as they should have.
Watch the title.
Yeah, the movie was meant to be a trilogy as well. It was meant to be. I think it was actually meant to be more than a trilogy. I think there were meant to be a couple more than 3, but they just did not market the movie as they should have. It was a high budgeted movie as well.
Yeah, they spent a lot.
There was a lot of money that went into the film, but none of money went into getting the film out there. We even saw that kid from Spy Kids in it.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in much since then. And then he's all of a sudden in John Carter of Mars. Because they just called it John Carter.
Yeah.
It wasn't John
Not
Carter
of
of
Mars,
Mars,
which people know it as.
Yeah.
And that also ruined Taylor Kitsch's career.
Yeah.
It really did.
He
He's such
hasn't
a good
been in
actor.
much.
He's such a good actor. But
After that, he wasn't in X-Men Origins, or was that before that?
before
Because he was Gambit.
he was
He was a great
he
Gambit.
was-
But now we
Origins
got-
was terrible, but damn, he was a good Gambit.
Yeah. Honestly, I think if you take out what they did to Deadpool,
Yeah,
then it's a decent movie. But just because of what they did to Deadpool in that film, it just
that movie could have worked if you know how they were charting through history and they had
yeah.
Sabretooth and him like fighting
Yeah.
wars and stuff. If they just stayed in
They
that
stepped away
timeline,
from Deadpool.
yeah,
Like the thing is, like not many people know.
Yeah.
So the only reason Ryan Reynolds did that is if he didn't, we wouldn't have the Deadpool we have now.
True.
The studios were like, if you don't do it, you'll never play the character.
Yeah, they're strong on the
He was
blackmailing.
like, you know what? Fuck, I have to do it.
Mm.
And now we've got these 2 amazing Deadpool movies.
Yeah, we do.
But now we've got this PG-13 one coming out, which I don't know how to feel about.
Mm.
But from the trailer, it does look different to what actually
Haven't seen
Deadpool
it.
was.
I've taken an oath not to watch trailers anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Trailers change a lot.
Mm.
They don't really like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's
Bring
all
it
that
up.
needs to be said on trailers.
Suicide Squad was just the trailer looked absolutely amazing, and then
The film they made was not the trailer, and then they had to
No.
try and make the film.
yeah,
The
they
trailer.
cut out so many scenes of the Joker, which I'll put on record. I hate that version of the Joker. I hate Jared Leto as the Joker. I hate that rendition, man.
Give the man a chance.
And the man can eat a dick. I hate that
Jared
version.
Leto.
No, screw Jared Leto. He's an amazing actor, but he should have just stayed away from that role.
Yeah.
He could have done it amazing. He could have been perfect at it, but it's what he chose to do with the character that make him this mob boss. That's not what the Joker was about.
It's a different take on the Joker.
Yeah, but it's a bad take on the
It's
Joker.
a bad take, but
It's like something like that would probably work better in the comics, not the live action.
I think if you got to see him being the mobster more, you would have had a different opinion on it.
Yeah, because you only see one scene of him in that freezer.
Literally.
Of him doing.
And we know
stuff.
from the trailer that the Joker was going to be more central to the story, and also David A. himself said that it's not the movie he made that people saw. So
it was the same as Fantastic Four.
oh lord,
Fox just came in there.
oh god,
Because it's like the first 45 minutes of that movie was pretty decent.
Good. Yeah, it's a
And
great
then you
audition
can
for
see
it.
as soon as Fox was like, no, we're having it. It pretty much ruined the director's career.
Yeah,
Because they put the blame on him when they were the ones that like meddled. And that's why I think the next upcoming X-Men movies and the possible Fantastic Four reboot are in good hands, because Fox can't really interfere as much now, because technically they don't own the rights to it. Disney does. Yeah, with Disney owning Fox now, they own the rights to Fantastic Four, X-Men, and all of that. So I think they're in a lot better hands. I think we're going to stop seeing continuous reboots of those.
oh, we're just going to see a
franchises.
good reboot.
Yeah, well, it's obviously going to reboot what Fox has done, especially Fantastic Four wise. You know, there's going to be another Fantastic Four film, or possibly even a series then. You know,
I'd
Disney's
say.
streaming service coming
I
out.
hope so. They can
You
flesh
know,
that out well.
Yeah, a series definitely. They can definitely work on that. But at the same time, with them having Fantastic Four, they could, you know, explore so many different storylines now, because they have those characters in it. You know, they're in that universe. They can do so much more now. Especially having the X-Men in there. There's the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline.
Yeah,
They could easily do that after Infinity War.
these movies are not going anywhere. They're going to keep
No.
getting made till the end
Yeah,
of time.
they're going to keep going. The thing
As
is,
they
like,
make money.
we'll talk about Stan Lee. Stan Lee made a universe
He did.
with
And
endless
respect,
possibilities.
Stanley.
Yes. You know,
Rest in
so many
peace.
multiverses that he created, that he's laid the groundwork for more creators and for endless possibilities.
Yeah.
For more films to keep getting made.
And Mr. Steve Ditko,
Yes.
part of that whole.
Yeah, there's just so much more that can come of it now.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got a juggernaut of a company like Disney at the helm. You know, these films are going to be high productions.
Yeah.
They're not going to be these little cheapy things like the old X-Men movies were. You know, like the X-Men movies generally use practical effects.
They did, and that's what worked for them.
Yeah, but like in the coming future now, they're probably going to turn more to visual effects.
Yeah. Well, they have.
You know,
Yeah.
Like we're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see a practical effect Juggernaut.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to see how he was shown in Deadpool 2,
Yeah.
which worked.
It did for that movie.
And even though that was Ryan Reynolds as Juggernaut as well,
yeah, holy shit.
but he did so well in it.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Yeah, so that was
I
Ryan
should know
Reynolds.
that.
Yeah, it was Ryan Reynolds killing Ryan Reynolds. Yeah,
I saw
but
in the credits.
on the topic of Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is another guilty pleasure. Those movies no one likes for some reason.
Well,
You
it's
know,
for many reasons.
There's many reasons, especially in the second one. You know, Galactus being a giant smoke cloud. But you know, again, you know, there is a rendition of him as a giant smoke cloud, but you know that's not the typical one, especially the one with the Silver
It's
Surfer.
not what people wanted. No, it's
No.
not the
The thing is-
world-eating
No,
Galactus.
it's definitely not.
Giant cloud coming at you.
Even Ben's the thing,
Yeah,
he was practical effects.
he was.
He was. They made him into an actual rock.
He hated it.
He was an actual rock. And you know, like the Silver Surfer, he was done super
There is
well.
charm in those movies. For
Yes,
sure.
that's the thing. Those are the best ones.
Mm.
You know, there was one that was meant to come up prior to that in the 90s that never got released.
Ah,
And that one looks
Roger,
so bad.
Roger Corman's version.
That
Some
looks so
people,
bad.
some people still say that's the best Fantastic Four movie. Believe it or not.
I don't know. I've never seen that one. It just looks
I don't
bad.
want to.
I don't want to either. You see what the thing looks like.
No
it looks
offense,
like
yeah.
It looks like a rock version of E.T., bro.
They spent $1 million on that movie. Yeah,
At that time,
just to
that's
keep
like,
the rights.
in that time, that's a lot of money.
Let's just say Fox used to do that. They used to just make movies so they could keep rights. They did
Yeah.
it with Daredevil. They did it with Fantastic Four.
Honestly, I like talking about Daredevil. Ben Affleck's Daredevil is also a guilty pleasure for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I dug that movie, but then the Netflix series kind of just made me
Oh,
not like
man.
it anymore.
Yeah.
You know? But then I think there's still. I haven't watched the new season of Daredevil yet, but
You must.
that was still one of like a great representation of Bullseye, who we have not seen.
You like that Bullseye?
Yeah, what's his face?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. That was a pretty cool version of Bullseye. He's never been on the big screen, So, having that, it kind of does set a low standard.
Season 3's going to blow you away then if that's your...
It does set a low standard,
but
it's still like the first.
Kudos to them for trying.
Yeah.
Electra was also in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she got a spin-off.
Let's not talk about that. That spin-off was.
Yeah. That and Catwoman, those are not guilty. Those are just bad.
Those are just bad. There was even a Catwoman game.
Ugh.
That was bad. I played that. That was so bad. Yeah. If something works, just leave it. Don't interfere. Halle Berry actually got an option for the character she wanted to portray,
and she chose
Catwoman. She was trying to break away from the Marvel Universe's Storm.
But, okay, I see.
And then Catwoman failed, and then she had to go back to Storm.
She wasn't even Catwoman. She was.
Yeah, she was.
What was her name in that movie? She was Patience Phillips. Or what the hell, man?
They were trying to. The thing is, like, the original Catwoman is not white either. She's Mexican.
Yeah.
You had a perfect opportunity to cast a Mexican actress as the proper Catwoman.
Yeah.
And you decide, hey, we're going to get rid of the actual Catwoman and create a new one.
It could have worked.
It could have worked, definitely. But
even
just the director was...
Yeah, Piroff, or whatever the hell his name. And he hasn't made anything since. I think that's the only movie he's ever made, and it's for a reason.
Yeah. Then you can look at it like the guy that did SpiderMan Homecoming. Where he directed music videos.
Yeah, he did one movie before then, though.
Yeah, but like his main thing was music videos. And then you get another guy that makes one movie and he's like, okay, it flopped, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's tapped out. He's done.
I'm just done. It didn't work, so I'm not doing it anymore. But then, there's so many guilty pleasures, honestly. There's going to be a part 2 of this.
There has to
be.
Let
everyone know.
Yeah.
If this is received well, anyways.
It will be received well. We'll make it. But no, like, any other guilty pleasures? Anything anyone else wants to bring up?
Would you consider Superman Returns? How much do you recall?
That was the one that it was a reboot, but it was a sequel to the old ones.
It was a sequel to Superman 1 and 2. They cut 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4 were utter crap.
Yeah.
Because 4 introduced Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man.
Yeah, I don't remember number 3.
Don't you?
No. Okay. But yeah, Superman Returns was pretty good. I dug him because that was meant to be the original Batman vs Superman. Was meant to be him and Christian Bale. That was a good Superman movie. I did enjoy it. I still don't know why that. What happened with that movie?
Okay, so Bryan Singer directed that movie.
Yes.
He left XMen to do that movie.
Yes.
And people didn't like it because he was too close to being Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. I know, and I mean, for me, still that movie has one of the best opening sequences that'll ever be made. It's that scene with the plane as the plane's coming down, it's about to crash, and it's like latched onto. That was beautiful. That is.
Yeah, didn't they use that as the poster as well?
They did.
Yes. Yeah, that was when Batman vs Superman was getting started because there was still a Easter egg in I Am Legend.
There was
in the background. Yes.
Yeah.
With the Batman vs Superman.
Very cheeky little.
Yeah, Christian Bale's Batman logo and the guy that acted as Superman's logo.
Brandon Ruth. Yes.
I don't know. Because he portrays Atom now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
on
Arrow. Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow, yeah. But there's that Superman curse.
Oh yeah.
That they don't come back after Superman. And I kind of see that's kind of died. It's not really a thing
Thank God
anymore.
it's died.
Yeah, because prior to that Superman Returns, he was Superman. It was still Christopher Reeves. I don't think there was another.
There'd been a few projects they tried to get off the ground, but none of them could actually.
Yeah, like the Nicolas Cage one.
Yes.
If you have not seen that photo, I'm putting a link in the description.
that had guilty pleasure in the making.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're gonna bring that photo's gonna come up on screen. That's coming up on screen with Nicolas Cage as Superman. That is gold. Yeah. Well, Tim Burton was meant to direct it. It was meant to be in the same universe.
Tim Burton and Kevin Smith wrote the script. It was, there was the villain was like a spider or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton.
It's really weird. Surprising. It's gothic.
It's Tim Burton. Everything that he makes is gothic.
Yeah, but then we got
his whole aesthetic.
I still think Henry Cavill was a very good Superman.
He is.
I don't used in the movie.
Did you not like Man of Steel?
Man of Steel I dug, but I still think the story falls short in certain places.
What parts did you not like about Man of Steel?
like when he's walking around with that beard, he's lost. And
He's
he's trying to
emoting.
still figure out what he's doing
He's
with his life.
emoting. He doesn't know what to do with the power he has.
It is obvious, bro. You're a superhero. You know,
But
he's
he-
not, like, honestly, when he's there has to be another superhero doing shit. He cannot be the only one that's like, oh, I've got powers, now I'm going to do something.
He didn't want to be a superhero. He didn't want to be thought of as a god. Because he knew that's what would happen.
What made him have to do that? Yeah, it was General Zod. popped
Zod
up.
changed everything
Yes.
for him. Like, he would save people, but he'd do it very
He
discreetly.
wasn't doing it for the fame.
He wasn't wearing a costume and
Yeah.
flying around. And
How did that costume even happen in Man of Steel?
that was in his...
In the spaceship that crashed.
Yeah, his... don't know what it's
I'm pretty
called
sure they didn't dress like that on Krypton.
now. They were in all black.
Yeah, so why is that blue and red? And why does it have a cape?
He's Superman.
My son is going to be Superman. I've seen the comics. You know, like, Man of Steel was pretty good, but it wasn't as well received as
No,
they
it
thought
wasn't.
it was.
It's a very
I still-
controversial Superman
yeah.
movie.
You know, especially coming off of, like, Smallville.
Yeah.
You know, okay, Smallville kind of died.
That's
in
a
the
guilty
last
pleasure
season.
series, straight up.
It was a very good series. I think it was like the last 2 seasons they started losing it a bit. Was the last season or something he became the Blur.
But he was the Flash on that show. He wasn't Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of lost it there.
It did.
You know, it was doing so well for
Running
the first
around.
couple of seasons and then it just... But then again, it's a TV series from back in the
Oh, nah.
2000s, so...
I remember watching that every week it was on, so
Yeah.
I'm not hating on it.
It was like on SCVC3 or something like that.
Mnet also had it.
Yeah, they were... That I think was the only Superman between...
Actually,
Superman
that
Returns
filled the
and-
void between
Yeah. And he was actually... They wanted him to be in Superman Returns.
Tom Welling, yeah.
Yeah.
did.
And they wanted him also to come back in Henry Cavill's place.
Yeah.
Because Henry Cavill's Superman is a bit older than the one you actually see in the comic books.
Hmm.
You know, he's not as naive as he is in the comic books. It's an
No.
origin story. You don't really see his origin story, I would say, of building up to there properly of him becoming Superman. You know, as well as like Smallville did it and
Yeah.
Superman Returns as well. Superman Returns, there was a bit of an origin, you know,
And then
thing,
also
flashback.
Yeah, and then they also set up his kid
Yeah,
in Superman Returns.
lifting up that, one was a bus or a car.
Yeah.
It was something like that, and he still had asthma, apparently.
Mm.
Yeah, you got superhuman strength, but yeah, you got asthma.
Shit.
So you can't run after villains now. You can't exert yourself. That's his weakness, not kryptonite.
Yeah, he's...
Actually, like, that was his, like, actual son, his biological son.
I'm not sure about that.
It's not like Superboy.
Oh,
It's a
okay,
clone,
yes.
That's what I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Superboy. You know,
Oh,
it's
yes.
a clone. That's like his actual kid.
Yeah, with Lois.
Yeah, like how it took that different turn from Injustice, where, you know,
Yeah, well, they
Lois
could
gets
have gone
killed.
that route, yeah.
yeah, I would actually dig to see that as a movie.
Injustice.
Yeah, watch, they're gonna make fucking Jared Leto as the Joker in that one as well. I'd be happy because the Joker gets killed. That's fine.
Nice.
Erases Joker completely.
Just...
Any more? Or are we done?
I'm good, I think.
I'm
I'll
good.
save the other ones I have in mind for another day.
You didn't contribute much, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is all we have for this podcast. There will be a part 2. There will definitely be a part 2 to this.
Oh.
Of
Yeah, this
more-
can span for eternities because we all
Yeah.
watch movies all the time. So
Yeah, there's more and more
always-
guilty pleasure movies constantly coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
There's a few this year. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I'm not going to
next
touch
year-
on them, but yeah, Venom's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, and definitely next year as well. There's bound to be more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Especially with the lineup that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be more. But if there's any other stuff you guys want us to talk about, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, actually.
There is a comment section, by the way. So yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Cheerio.
Bye.